Okay. And now we have two angles that make a what? Linear pair. Above the word linear pair means it adds up to how much? Automatically. So it's a little 180 there. So now we have E, trace it, E, go to Q, go to G, E, Q, G, and G, Q, F. They are a linear pair, which means you should do what to them? Sweep it and make it equal to 180. Okay, cross it out when you are done. Okay, let me switch colors here. We know that GQF is how many times bigger than EQG? 3 times. So we trace G, Q, F. I'm going to actually just do the words. 3 times bigger than that. And I do a little arrow. 3 times bigger than that. Now, we need to translate the 3 times bigger than that into an equation. So this is 3x. So what's the that? That's just x. Do you understand how I did that? Okay. So we cross it out. Okay. Russell, read the next little section. Ray.
Ray QK is an interior.
Okay, we're up a line. You see right here?
Ray QR bisects F angle FQA.
Okay, stop right there. Because see the word and? That should be a chunk. So we trace FQH is being cut in half by QI. And when it says bisect, what kind of notation should you have there? The hatch marks, yes. Hatch, hatch. Cross it out. Okay, Petra, a really good way to think about this is actually Okay, so cross it out. Okay. Sophie, what's the next one? What's the next little piece of information? So we trace IQH now. IQH is being cut in half by what? Q what? QJ. So we do a QJ. Now we have another sweep. Now it's double hatch because it's a second set. You okay with that? Yes, ma'am. Fabulous. Excellent. You're going to be using that for proofs, ma'am. Very good. Alrighty. So now it says here, this guy, that QK is interior to EQH. Now, interior does not mean it goes through the middle. It just means it's in there somewhere. Okay? So let's trace EQH. And we have an interior ray called QK. Notice I don't put it down the middle. It's really important that you offset it a bit so that you don't confuse yourself as going down the middle. Now, read the next phrase. JQH. Read it out loud, somebody.
JQH, HQK.
Okay, underline the word complementary. The word complementary means adds up to 90 degrees. So below 90 there. So now we trace the angle JQH. Trace it. JQH and HQK. Those two angles have to add up to how much? 90. So I'm going to sweep here, and I'm going to put a 90 degrees. Okay, now they're not equal, but they do add up to 90. You okay with that? Okay, now we're going to find anything and everything we can find. I'm only going to do two things with you. What's the simplest thing you can find right now?
The angles that are equal.
Yeah, the problem is you don't have any measures, though, do you? So how can we get an actual measure?
180 plus x, or 180 equals x plus 3x.
Nice. Yes. We know this x plus 3x has to equal 180.
So 4x.
4x equals 180. Yes?
I love you.
Okay. Now what? Solve.
I don't need you guys.
Okay, then stop.
Do your own math, guys.
Gosh, you want me to go buy you a chocolate bar?
No, I hate chocolate.
So x equals? Oh, you just forgot your zero. 45. 45. So this here is now 45. Now find me the 3x side. Yes, ma'am. 135. Okay, now the only thing else I'm going to do with you is I want to point something out to you. Okay, I'd like you to retrace your two straight lines, which is EF and GH. Retrace your EF and GH again. Whenever you have straight lines, you have vertical angles.
So EQH is also 135?
Exactly. So this angle here is 135. That means this whole thing here has to be 135 because of the vertical angles.
And this whole thing here.
Okay, watch. See, watch. GQF, and if you see the straight lines, EQ, what is that? H? Yeah, EQH. Those are both the same. Then the smaller ones, EQG, has to be equal to what angle? EQG has to be equal to? Well, it is 45, but where's its bow tie? Yes, ma'am.
So this right here is 135, and this right here.
Yes, ma'am.
And then this is 45.
Yes, sir. And then from there, then you start working that 45 with what your hatch marks are.
HQF.
HQF, you're correct. That is now 45 as well. Now, I'll let you do the little grunt work yourself because you see those bisectors, all these bisectors, you're going to start cutting stuff in half. Yes, there are decimals in there, and that's okay. All right, you go finish the rest. Okay, make sure all my 1, 2, 3 highlighters. All right, yes, ma'am. Don't get involved. Okay, I will do that with your team in just a moment. Start by go in your DPTP, and I want you to take a look on page 6, please. Okay, page 6. It's that half orange thing. Come on down. Grab the clipboard. Oh, Michael died. Yeah, it's on your 2.8. It's in your thing.
Two angles are supplementary and add up to 180. Amanda, let me know if
You guys need to choose a problem you want to work on. I just finished 10, so choose something other than 10. You guys choose a problem.
Look at 11. Okay, no, 11. 11.
11? Okay, now decide the slope perpendicular to this would have to be what?
-2/3.
Bingo, write it down.
Highlight on your button if you're ready.
And then the slope parallel to this would have to be what?
3/2.
The 3/2. Okay, now, for this equation, you have a slope, you have an m, and you have an x1 and y1. x1, y1. You plug it in.
What do you mean? Like, what's the x and the y?
That's x1. Goes there.
That's y1?
And that's y1. Goes there. There's your slope that you want. Goes there. And then you
What's the
distribute.
normal y then?
That x, the normal x, the normal y stays x
Oh.
and y. They're like placeholders.
Okay.
Okay, so same thing here. There's your m. There's your x1 and y1 again. Okay, so plug it in. Okay, which one, guys? Ladies, excuse me. 11? Okay. Now, why do you guys perceive 11 as difficult? Let's just think of this. Okay, so it's all the numbers kind of scare you. Okay. I want you guys to be really careful about allowing your brain to hit that it's scary feeling. Like, I know that's gonna fly across your brain, and that's okay, but I want you to be really careful you don't dwell on that. Okay? Because when you dwell on, oh, that looks scary, it's so hard, oh, that looks scary, it's so hard, it actually changes your brain chemistry. And it actually makes it hard to think. So it makes it kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. All right? So you need to be really careful. Yes, at first glance, oh, that looks scary, it's so hard. Then I need you to dismiss it and immediately ask yourself these two questions. Okay? Let me make this so it isn't so large. Right, do know, can do. Do know, can do. Those two questions. That's going to get you over that freeze up feeling. Okay? What do I know? What can I do? All right. So step number 1. You are told some lines are parallel. So do you know certain lines are parallel? Yes or no? Do you know that? Then I would retrace them so that that just registers in your brain. M and N are parallel. So I find here's M, there's N. Just retrace and stretch it out a little bit. Okay, and then we have PQ, here's P, here's Q, that line, and then here's R, here's S, must be parallel to that line. And notice the little arrow feathers, that means they are parallel. Okay. Again, I cross stuff out as I use it. Okay, so what do I know? There's more. What else do we know? What else do we know? What kind of stuff's given?
PQ are equal to 92.
Good. Physically sweep that. That's a given. I'm going to do that in green. So we're given that right there is 92. So sweep it. What else are you given?
PTQ.
Okay, so sweep it. Okay, so what you guys want to do is, for parallel lines, there are several things you need to memorize. I'm going to give you a set of 3 to look for. Okay, ready? Just make little baby parallel lines here. 1, 2, and 3. Make some baby parallels. And then do one set of bow ties. All of what I'm showing right now, when lines are parallel, they're congruent. So first one, alternate interiors. That's armpits of the Z. They're congruent when lines are parallel. Alternate interior, armpits of the Z. If you want some colors, you're welcome to. Okay. Alternate exterior, opposite sides of the stir stick, outside the lines. They are also congruent. That's Alt in, Alt X. So I'm going to do Alt in, Alt X. Just, okay. Corresponding, one's in, one's out, same side. That's also congruent. Okay, Patrick, you're trying to finish 10 on your own, right? 10? That's fine. All right, and then, of course, vertical angles are always equal. Another thing you should watch out for, okay, that's all equal. Now, these guys are supplementary. Linear pairs add up to 180, and then triangles add up to 180. So those are facts you have to hold in your head. Linear pairs add up to 180, and triangles add up to 180.
This test is online, right?
Hmm?
His test is on Monday.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. By the way, I'm recording the explanation right now. I'll be sending that link to you. Okay. So now we have everything that we do know. Now we're going to work on what we can do. Make this really big. All right. All right. So look up here. What angle can you now find? Anything. That's 92. What can you find?
Q.
I could find Q because it's vertical. Good. What is it?
92.
Lovely. Okay, keep working. What else can you find?
2.
2, yes. How would you find 2?
Just underneath it would be 2.
That would be 2, correct. But, sweet, the 92 and 2 together.
Yeah.
What's that called? It adds up to 180, but there's a name for it. It's supplementary, yes, but there's even 2 angles make a line. Line 2. Line 2. Line linear pair. Yes, these are a linear pair. The reason why you need that is, do you see that word because down here? You're going to need that. So that adds up to 180. So let's do 180 minus 92, and now
What kind of problem are we doing right now?
what do you mean kind?
What is this called? The problem that we're doing?
I call this a squeeze the sponge, which means you just squeeze out every
Yeah, I
little
know,
thing.
but is this
Parallel lines. The ability to seek out all information based on information you already know, that skill, you use it in science, use it in English. That ability to take what you do know and apply it to something and kind of like push the edges of your brain and find everything you can find, yes, that's a skill. That is a skill that you know.
I'm probably not going to use this.
So you're going to just ignore what we're doing right now? I'm not teaching you facts, dear. I'm teaching you skills. I'm teaching you the ability to think. Are you going to think in college?
Yeah, but not
Good.
like this.
Are you going to have to know? Okay, what do you plan on studying in college? Let me give you an example.
You don't know yet.
You don't know yet. Okay,
I know
well,
I'm not going to use math because I'm not good at math.
do you plan on using anything about history or social science? What do you plan on studying there? Give me an example.
I want to be.
Okay, well then, if you don't know your future, then how do you know you're never going to see this again?
Because I know I'm not going to.
Okay, well, my dear, again, EMT. Okay, so this is what it is. You have to know about the human body and how to assess. When you come up to that person, you have to say, oh, he has clammy skin, the eyes are dilated, and the pulse is 180, and the blood pressure is 190 over 20. That's what I know. What situation might that be? And you have to be able to connect those two almost instantaneously. That ability to assess what you know and analyze what you need to do, that's a skill. That the same skill is exactly what we're doing right now. I'm just making you work with different stuff. It's different Legos. But the skill of building, we're just going to go from Legos to tinker, whatever those things with the sticks and the things, tinker blocks, whatever. But that skill of assessing and then moving forward from your assessment, that's a skill. You're going to use it as an EMT. All right? So, let's get back to the basics. All right? So, we have 92. How can we find angle 2? 180 minus 92. Do the math.
Like 92 or something.
No, actually do the math, dear. I mean longhand, like you used to do in 2nd grade. 88 is correct, so I'm going to do 88. So now we have angle 2 is 88. So now what else can we find?
The one across from it, underneath it.
Underneath it, yep. Oh, and we've got 9 too. Good call. Good call, because if you look here, oh, that's too big. Okay, this angle and this angle, they are alternate exteriors. So if that's 88, 2 and 9 are 88. Very good. What else can you find? 1. 1's going to be what?
It'll make 88 too.
Lovely. And the reason why I know that is, watch guys, magic, armpits of the Z. Armpits of the Z. Okay, what else can you find?
R.
R. Yes, you can. What's R going to be?
92.
Got it. 92. What else can you do?
Find that blank spot.
Blank spot.
88.
Lovely. 88.
I get this now.
Okay? What else can you find?
Do we have to do it for all of these?
Everything. Squeeze the sponge. Yes.
What about
Jenna, dear, if you would just cut down the
7?
complaining just a tad, you'll infinite. I know that. Don't be overwhelmed. You're fine. Oh, 7. Let's see. Why don't we sweep 7? Again, what can you do? Do you see it? Do you see it? Yeah, there's a Z there. You've got giant parallel lines. Do you see the Z? Ah, you found it. Nice job. Nice job. That's 38. What's 7? 38. Let me erase that giant line. Okay, so now we got 7. What else can we find?
what about 17? Like across the blank spot.
17. Okay. Are you talking like 17 down here?
The blank space. Wait.
Or this guy?
Yeah, that guy.
That side? Well, what do we have here?
Triangle. 180.
We know about triangles.
But if that one, what is 92 minus 88, and that's what the other one is?
Okay, but these guys aren't parallel. Be very careful. This line and this line are not parallel, so over here, those don't work. But what do we know? We do have a triangle here, don't we?
And
There's a
then
triangle. Triangles add up to?
180.
180. So here we have 88 and 38
Oh, I thought that was
inside the triangle.
50. Will this be on the test?
Of course.
Is it 50?
Okay, let's 8 carry the 1, 126. Now take it away from 180.
How long are we going to have for this test?
The whole period.
What if I don't finish?
There are actually 2 parts to the test because at the one where there's 2 proofs, you're going to be allowed to use that DPTP. So I have to give it in 2 parts. So if you do part 1 in class, you can come after school to do part 2 if necessary. Okay? Did you guys get this angle yet? Did you do your... Yes. Well, Jenna, you have it. What is it?
54.
Great! 54. Now, what else is 54?
S? Oh, no.
Yes, right across from it, which is 17. That's 54. Now we got stuff. Now start looking for a corresponding alternate X and stuff like that. Here's your stir stick now. Let's look at this stir stick right there. Along that stir stick, what else has to be 54?
14. No, doesn't 10 and 13?
19. That would be corresponding. Yes, very good. One's in, one's out, same side. Keep working it. What else is 54?
Thought it had to be on the same lane. I mean,
These are corresponding. Right. One's in, one's out, same side. That's corresponding.
so what about 11?
11. Oops, not 11. Look for Alt X. Alt X. 10. 10. What else is 54? Keep working it.
5?
Yeah, that'd be corresponding. 54. Keep going. 50. Actually, you're correct.
Really?
Yeah, let me show you why. Let me make it nice and big because that is going to be, watch, armpits of the Z. Do you see it? Okay, what else is 54? Keep going, there's more.
3.
3 is 54. Lovely. Good. What else?
I'm done.
I'll check in just a second.
With the whole packet?
Yeah.
13. 54. Okay, so there's another angle you can find. I want you guys to finish finding the rest of the angles, and I'll check it in a minute, okay? You can now get 4, but that's not 54. How are you going to find that, Jenna? Well, sweep. 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 Ms. Reader, what do you think?
So it's 180.
Lovely. Help Jenna see that, okay?
180 minus something.
Yeah, good deal. Great. So you find the rest, guys, and then pick them up. Alright. You guys are next. I'm joining the party. I'm grabbing the board. You guys just choose problems to go over. And then I'm coming to you guys next. Okay, so let me take a peek here. Okay, you need a supplementary angles which are not a linear pair. I need an example of that. Oh, you're right. Okay, you're okay. Yay! Sorry about that. Okay, you need some clipboards, guys, or something, and probably at least two colors. Two colors.
Carly, can I have 2 colors?
Colors are do good. Yeah, colors do good. It's like milk does, a body. I gotta make that rhyme with that. Okay, this one needs some help.
Yeah, you can be
That
first.
one's incorrect. All right.
Whoa.
Oh, this
Wow.
seven's not
I'm not buying
substitution.
you.
Ask yourself what happened between here and here. Yes, property.
With
Okay.
money, like dad.
I
I was being a month.
Okay, this guy right here is not 45.
It's not.
They're like, there's
Sunday.
Okay, because it's these two that add up to 90. Not that one.
dude, you guys know this
Is
transition.
this okay?
We'll catch up.
This is okay? Here I want lines. You have angles.
Wait,
Yeah,
like-
you have A, E, F. That's an angle. I want lines. So you only use 2 letters for these. And I'm looking for here, I'm looking for either like Alt in, Alt X, corresponding,
I knew how to do
consecutive,
it.
that kind of stuff. Okay? All right. Otherwise, pretty good there. Pretty good. Okay, which ones do you guys want to do? 13. All right, 13. 13 it is.
Is it like this?
Trying to shoot rubber bands.
Well, no, I knew how to do it like
Okay.
this.
I think that's detention.
Well, she didn't actually shoot it, so we'll be nice then. Alrighty, so here we are. We're it's kind of like a proof. We're on 13, and it says determine, sweep the given angles, and note their relationship. Then determine what lines must be parallel. So what we're doing is we are proving parallel lines. We're proving parallel lines.
Do you write that?
Okay, I would. And there's 5 ways to prove parallel lines. We're on 13. Make 5 sets of little baby parallels. 5 sets of little baby parallels.
It's hard to write.
I know. Sorry. Sorry.
No problem. All right, so under these circumstances, you're going to end up with parallel lines. Okay? The first one is if you have alternate ends, then parallel. Alternate ends. If the alternate ends are congruent.
It's
Okay?
the armpits of the Z.
Armpits of the Z. If you have alternate X's and they're congruent, lines are parallel. If you have corresponding congruent, lines are parallel.
I would do this neater.
Consecutive interior angles, that means on the same side between the lines, if they add up to 180, that's parallel. And the last one is if perpendicular to the same line. If you have 2 perpendicular lines, perpendicular to the same line, they add up to 180. Okay, so use that as a little guide. So we're told angle 1 and 2 are equal. So let's sweep 1 and let's sweep 2. Okay, now 1 and 2 hug I call it hug, they're up against, they're next to, they're adjacent to a stir stick. I'd like you to darken that stir stick. Do you see what I mean by you guys come up with a better word? I say snuggle up against, hug, grab, grip, wrap, whatever. But that's the stir stick. Okay. If that's your stir stick, what 2 lines look like they must be parallel because of that stir stick? What 2 lines look like they're parallel? Okay,
A and B.
yeah, A, B. Looks like it has to be parallel to what? E.g.
I was thinking about these.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, see the problem is, look at 1 and 2. Look at what 1 and 2 are. Look. Do you see what 1 is? They're armpits of the Z. So if you draw the Z, that's what's parallel. Okay? Okay, if you draw the armpits of the Z, watch. Trace with me. Go like that. Go like that. Go like that. Go like that.
My colors will help.
Armpits of the Z. So we know that H2C has to be parallel. H to C has to be parallel to what?
H to C, E to G.
E to G. E to G. Now, why? What kind of angles are 1 and 2? They are congruent. Alternate what? Interior. So, alternate interior angles are congruent. Therefore, my lines are parallel. That's this guy. I'll call it that's my number 1.
Alternate interior angles
Are congruent. Therefore, my lines are parallel.
angle 1.
Okay, now I'm going to do C with you, and B and D you're going to do on your own, okay? So let's try C. Okay, so C, we have H-A-E. So let's trace H-A, I'm on C.
Is that a right angle?
H-A-E, we don't know that. Trace and sweep. But we're told it's congruent to ABF. So ABF, trace and sweep. Okay, now what I want you to do is darken the stir stick that those two angles hug up against.
Hey, wait, how does ABF make an angle?
A, B, F. Just dot to dot, kiddo. Just dot to dot. Physically dot to dot. Geometry is a very physical math. You have to interact, pencil and paper, okay? All right, that's your stir stick. So what two lines look like they might be parallel given this scenario?
A to E.
AE and BF. Now you're correct, but now you have to defend yourself. Why? What kind of angles are there?
Corresponding.
They're corresponding. And what's their relationship? They're what? They're congruent. So the reason why we can now say AE must therefore be parallel to, what do you want to call that one? BF. And the because is? Corresponding angles must be congruent, therefore my lines are parallel. You see how that works? Okay, you go back and do B and D on your own. B and D on your own. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
If you need help with 13, this team is master 13. If you need help with 11, this team in the front is experts of 11. Who did I do 10 with? I did 10. If you need help with 10, this team is the expert of 10. Okay? All right. You guys are reading down. Yes, ma'am? Okay, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys like 30 seconds to determine which one you want help with, okay?
Which one do we want help with?
They already did 11. Let's do this one.
What's this one?
This one.
Do the last one.
I did that one.
Which one?
But I did. You highlighted my line.
Guys,
No,
wanna
don't do 8. Don't do 8.
Guys, wanna do number 10, or is that easy?
Mine is
Oh,
Wait.
I wanted to do number 12.
Let's do 11.
can't be positive.
They already did it.
Let's do 11.
They already did it.
How about number 12?
11 or 13?
How about no, they just did 13.
Oh.
11 and 13 are taken. What about number 12? Did you do 12?
12.
How about 10? No, it's 10.
Let's do 12. Yeah, but we're 12.
How about
Did they
9?
already take 12?
Yeah. They're all taken.
Let's do number
10? Did you do 10?
9. What's this one?
Oh, I did that one.
Let's do 9.5. Oh, we
This one, that one's easy.
I don't know. Why don't you guys do this one? Number 9.
9.
Okay, number 9.
Because the whole thing goes with it. You have to do all of it.
Okay, let's do 9. I haven't done it, so that's cool.
Already did it.
We're doing that.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
We're doing
You guys
9.
ready? Okay, can I have a couple of you over here so we're not quite so cramped here? Okay, which one?
9.
9. Really? 9?
I did it though.
I already did it too.
You just want me to tell you if you're right or wrong?
Because there's nothing.
I didn't do
People
that.
want to.
Everyone did everything else.
Everyone did all of it.
What about the algebra ones?
What
There's well, let me tell you when
Oh,
on page,
number 6.
just to give you a heads up, problem 6 and problem 8 both have fractions in it.
Number 6.
This is
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if anyone else
just
had a problem with that.
Problem 6 or problem 8, your
everyone's like,
choice.
that's easy.
I already did 6. So I got that one.
I go to the bathroom
Nice
next
job.
question.
Yes.
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 Right?
8. Either 8 or 9.
That one's not right.
Oh.
See, we'll use a line.
What's
She
it?
highlighted my line.
I got
Number
6 right.
No, that one's not right. I'll be happy to go over
We'll
that
do
one.
6.
8 is wrong.
No.
6. These two have 6 correct.
Right?
Oh, well, then we'll
You have 6 here, you have 9 correct. Okay, let's do 8 because I haven't seen anybody with the correct answer for 8 yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the bottom. Okay, and we're going to do, I have 2 8s. So let's do 8 on the right, because 8 on the left, you already graphed it probably, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you if you're correct or not. 8, well, it's an easy
Alright.
one to graph. Yeah, you're good.
She highlights your line, not the problem.
Yeah, you're good. Alrighty, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to make this nice and big. Coming up here. Okay, it says write an equation y equals mx plus b for the line below. So we have y equals mx plus b. Alright, so when you start with problems, you basically do 2 things. What do you know? And what can you do? What do you know and what can you do? Alright? That, if you get keep those 2 things in mind, you'll never be paralyzed by a problem. So, ask us, what do you know here already? You got 2 points. Lovely. Let's darken those points. 2 points implies coordinates, right?
Yeah.
Do you know those coordinates?
Yeah.
Write them down. So, tell me, what are they?
2 for the top one.
This one's 3, 2.
And
It's
negative 4.
over 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 2.
Negative 4, number 4.
This one's over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is negative 4, negative 4. Okay, great. So, then you have y equals mx plus c. Okay, that's what you know. Okay, so what can you do with 2 points?
Got the line.
We have a line.
Take it.
So we
you can
can.
foil.
Find the slope.
Okay.
You can find the what?
Slope.
We can find the slope, can't we?
Yes.
How do you find slope?
Y over
Y
y
minus
y.
y over x.
X minus x. Okay, so we have y minus y over x minus x. So I'm going to box my y's and subtract. Circle my x's and subtract. Box y's, subtract. Circle x's, subtract. Do that, Kayvon. Come on.
You said that you'd give extra credit.
You're right. I did. All
I
right.
had a hard name.
No, it's not that. I get him mixed up with a youth pastor, a Persian youth pastor, whose name sounds incredibly familiar to his. So we're going here. He's just. I originally started that because of siblings, because siblings that look alike. I know the younger sibling hates getting mixed up with the older sibling, so. Kavon's not mixed up with the sibling. He's mixed up with the youth pastor, so he's going to get a +6 out of 5 on that brain job there. Okay.
There's one extra point though.
You need it. Well, it's just enough to remind me not to do that constantly. Like I had, you guys probably know
Oh, I have
Anish.
the slope right.
You guys know Anish? Anish and Anoop? Well, yeah, they're both spitting in. So Anoop, he's the youngest. He just racked up the extra credit because I kept calling him Anish. So, all right. So, what's your slope?
6 over 7.
6 over 7. Yes, 6 over 7. Grand. Okay. Now that just gave us our m is 6 over 7. Now we want to find, we're missing our b, right? Okay. But do you have a point x and a point y?
No.
I mean, do you have a point x and a point y?
Yeah.
Good. So let's choose one. I don't care which one.
3, 2.
3, 2. Okay, so that's going to be our y. That's our x. So I'm going to bring this y down. I'm going to put a 2 here. Equals 6 over 7. I know my x. My x is going to be times 3 plus b. So I'm having to solve for b now. Now it's algebra, guys. So let's do our math. 6 over 7 times 3 is what?
18 over 7.
18 over 7. So now I have 2 equals 18 over 7 plus b. Did I lose anybody with the 18 over 7? You all cool with that? Okay. Now, how are you going to get b by itself?
You're gonna subtract 18 over 7.
So we're going to subtract 18 over 7. Subtract 18 over 7. Okay, the problem is you got a whole number and a fraction there. So I'm going to change this 2 to a fraction. So I want it something over 7, right? Because I want alike denominators. 14. So now I have 14 over 7 minus 18 over 7. 14 over 7 minus 18 over 7. So it's going to be negative 4 over 7. That's my b. So now I have all my ingredients. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals my slope, 6 over 7, x plus my b, which is, well, it's not going to be plus. Technically, it's minus 4 over 7. And that, my friends, is your equation. You okay with that? All righty. Go have a seat.
See, you can't tell.
Nope. You actually have to do the math there. You actually have to do the math. Okay, who's I not talk to? You guys are gonna talk Alrighty, guys. You okay? What's wrong? How much water have you had today? Think about it. No, really think about it. How much water have you had today?
Like
That
4 cups.
4 cups. That's it.
4 mini cups.
That's it.
That's not good.
Have you had any other liquids today? Any juice or anything?
No.
Did you have coffee or something for breakfast? No. Okay, so you're pushing on dehydrated. Or do you have a history of migraines? No? Okay. The number 1 cause for headaches, if you don't have a history of migraines, is dehydration. So go chug
If
as
you don't
many.
drink water now, it's gonna get.
Yeah, go chug as much water as you can.
Pour the whole thing on your mouth.
Just wait, I'm starting.
You might be
Not
throwing
quite.
it up later, just saying.
Absolutely. But I've done 10.
Yeah.
So you guys choose a problem. I've done 11, I've done 10, I've done 13, and I've done 8. Let me tell you what I've not done and the most commonly requested problems besides that. That would be the proof, problem 9,
Yeah,
and
let's
then
do that.
also the parallel and perpendicular one, number 6.
No, let's do the proof.
Proof 9.
Page 9?
Yeah,
Page 9?
definitely.
Okay, we'll do that.
Can I like sit down and watch you do it?
No, I want you close because I want to be able to interact with you and talk. Oh, first off, I have a quick question. Let me stand aside. Students, I have a quick question for you. Look up here. Remember I gave you guys a challenge yesterday. Remember? I asked you to prove me wrong about the PSAT. Yesterday's PSAT, the math section, was there a problem that dealt with parallel and perpendicular lines?
No. Not at all. There was not one. It was all
There was anything about slope and parallel and perpendicular lines? Okay. I will go check.
Our test is mostly algebra.
Okay, 6th period. No. Question mark. Okay, I will check. So it's X, W, and I need to check all 3 then. Let's see. Juniors had W. What do the sophomores have?
W.
Sophomores. We had W. Sophomores have. Everybody had W? Oh, that's right. Okay, I will check. And if there are
Watch. I'm a joke.
I'll find out. I'll find out. Okay. Alrighty, so we are going to walk ourselves through gift here. Gift. All right. So what you need to avoid immediately going for the blanks. That's really important, okay? Because eventually you're not going to have any blanks to deal with. All right. So let's just come up here. We're going to walk ourselves through gift. Okay. Step given says read the given, mark it on the diagram. So read the given to yourselves, gentlemen, and mark it on the diagram.
This one?
Yes. No. See, you're going for the blanks up here. Read the given and mark it on the diagram.
Done.
Okay, you should have something like this. These big angles are equal, right? And are you getting in the habit of crossing stuff out as you account for it?
No.
And 1 and 3 are equal. Okay. Now, let's deal with, so check. Implied and freebies. Anything else implied here?
No. Well, the proof. The one you have to prove. Wait,
Yeah,
the
well,
proof, the only thing I
indirectly.
can't do is I can't put like the words like substitution and stuff. Like I know.
Well, I'll show you how to figure that out. Okay, we're trying to get 2 and 4 to be equal somehow. That's our target. That's what we're trying to explain. Okay, so now talk about it. Gentlemen, if you know the green is true up here, the green's true, how do you know the red's true?
Because the angle 1 and angle 3 are equal. For them to be equal, angle 2 and angle 4 have to be.
Okay, there's a little bit more information
I
there.
don't know how to.
Okay, do you see those big angles?
Oh, the little angles.
The little angles
Oh.
add up to the big angles. Okay,
Angle addition.
aha. Okay, so if the little angles add up to the big ones, and 2 of the little ones are equal, if we take away what's equal, what's left has to be equal as well. Okay, you get that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the big picture. Now we'll go for blanks, okay?
I know these.
Okay, you probably do. All right, so coming over here, number 1 says BZD, that's the big angle, equals 1 and 2 added together. What's
Little
that
angle
called?
Angle addition.
Yeah, it says right here, smaller angles added to larger ones. So
We're gonna
little
have that on the
angle,
test?
little angle equals big angle, potentially for one of them. That's called angle addition.
Second one's angle addition.
Okay, what about that one? That says the big angles equal the little angles. Yes, ma'am.
Angle addition.
I'm sorry, dear, I wasn't paying attention. Master of 13. 13. Yeah. Sam, are you guys 13? No, you're not 13. You're 8. Who's 13? Camille, were you guys, yeah, you're masters of 13. That team over there. Cody, Camille, Carly, Haley. Yeah, they're masters of 13. Okay, so it's angle equals big angle. Again, angle addition. And you know what? You would do them a favor, guys, if you went over there and asked them, like, how to do it. Because if you force them to explain. Priscilla, what are you doing with the phone, dear? Are you looking up? You are looking at the terms? Okay. All right, now, number 3. How do we know number 3 is
Given.
true? It's given.
Yeah, got that one.
Okay, now, this is where you have to start kind of watching the magic. I like you to circle 1 and 2 together. Circle 1 and 2 together. Just circle it. Now, where else do you see 1 and 2 together? What line?
1.
Up here. So circle 1 and 2.
Substitution.
And then circle the BZD. And then do you see BZD in 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so we took out BZD and we put in 1 and 2. Okay, let's do another one. I'd like you to box 3 and 4. Box 3 and 4. Now box 3 and 4 in line 2. 3 and 4 equals what big angle?
EXG.
So there's EXG. Now where else do you see EXG?
Number 3.
So we took out EXG and put in 3 and 4. We took one thing out, put something else in. What's that called? That's substitution. Substitution. All right? Now, step 5. What's
Given.
going on? That is a given. You are correct. Now, look really carefully between step 4 to step 6. What is the only thing that changed? Yeah, but what from what? You're guessing, Michael. I can tell by the
Well, I
time you're
knew that.
The 1 and 3.
Okay, watch, Michael, so that you can see. Do you see 4? Do you see 4?
Yeah.
Do you see 3 and 3?
Yeah.
Do you see 2 and 2?
Yeah.
So what did we do? We took out 1 and we replaced it with
3.
3. That's called substitution.
I know the last one. Fraction.
Aha. What are we subtracting?
Measures 3 and 4.
Nope.
3 and 1.
What's that?
3 and 3.
Dalton went to another class.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so we say goodbye to the 3's, and because right here, guys, it's subtraction from both sides, you have to use the word property. Subtraction property. The word property means I do it to both sides. So if I add to both sides, it's addition property. If I multiply both sides, that's multiplication property. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Alrighty, gentlemen, good job. Students, this team is mastering 9. The group, they are the masters of 9.
Wow.
Alright, guys. Okay, Patrick, Scott, Cassie. Sullivan, come on down. Yes, it is. So can you find any two? Okay. Alrighty, Cassie, come on down. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have like the tutoring thing after school today?
Absolutely. I'll be here till about 3:15, so 45 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Happily.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. What would you like to do? Let me tell you what problems I have done. I have explained, okay? So, let's see. I've explained page 5, problem 8, page 6, problem 9, page 7, problems 10 and 11, and page 8, problem 13. So I won't explain those again. So, let me tell you what other students have found tricky, okay? That would be problem 6. That would be page, I think it's 5, problem 6. Have you finished it? I can check your work if you have. Okay, let me see it. No, it's not hard. Has anybody tried it? Okay. Well, some people think it's hard because it's full of fractions. Okay? I know that. Everybody does. I would really love to talk to the teacher that made you hate fractions so much. I really really?
Yeah.
See, to me, I think fractions are, if I was an elementary teacher teaching fractions, I'd be bringing like pies in and you slice it up and it's like fractions of pies. To me, teaching fractions I think would be a hoot and a half.
Yeah.
But
I just hate working with them in like algebra and stuff.
I know, and you all do. So us teachers, we commiserate, you guys commiserate. I don't know what it is with this hate affair with fractions, but yes, what's your question? Okay, cell phone over here.
Actually, just the noise.
Okay, so it says you're going to use the point slope equation, y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1, and from that derive the y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so we have a given line, negative 6x plus 4y equals 4. You okay with that? Okay, so we have that given line. And we want to find the equation that's perpendicular to that line, but goes through that point, and then we want an equation parallel and goes through that point. Okay, so first off, when you're dealing with parallel and perpendicular, you have to mess with slope, right? So what do you know about slope and parallel lines? Okay, well slope, okay, let's just get something simple. We know slope equals rise over run. What else do we know?
equals slope is perpendicular, and then slope times slope is -1 is.
You got them backwards, yeah. But yeah, so let's just write slope equals slope is parallel, and then slope times slope equals -1 is our perpendicular. Why don't you start by writing that down? And then we have a point, which we're going to call as our x1, y1, x1, y1. So what are we missing?
The other, never mind.
We need the slope, right? So how can you find, of this line, how could you find the slope?
You would have to
So you have to get y
six
over.
x with the other side.
Get it to the other side, so we're gonna have here positive 4y equals, if you bring it over, that's going to be a positive 6x plus 4. Did I lose anybody by not showing my algebra there? Are you still okay? Okay. Now, divide everything by 4. And then I'd like you to reduce the 6 over 4.
3 over 2.
So we have 3 over 2 x plus 1. Okay, so our given line slope is what? Our given line slope. So what's our m here?
That's 3 over 2.
Good, so 3 over 2, that's our m. Okay? So now, for the parallel, what's our slope going to be?
3 over 2.
So for parallel, it's going to be 3 over 2. Okay? For perpendicular, what's our slope going to be?
2 over 3.
Switch and flip. -2 over 3.
Oh, it's negative.
Switch and flip, yes. Now, we plug it in. So for this guy, it's going to be y. I'm going to make a template. Y minus something equals our slope, and it's going to be x minus something. You see, I call that a template. Now you plug in your template. We have here y minus y1, that's a double negative, so that's going to be y plus 1, equals our slope, -2/3. And then we have x minus -8, so that's +8. Are you still okay? Okay. I'm going to make it nice and big. Yes. I'm going to insert here a new page, and we have y plus 1 equals -2 over 3 x plus 8. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you distribute like you said you were going to do. Y plus 1 equals -2 over 3x. This times that is what? -16 over what? 3. You're correct. It's negative because we distribute that negative. Okay, now comes the fun part. What do we do now? We want to get rid of the what? No, we got to get rid of the 1. Thank you. So we're going to -1 and -1. We have a fraction minus a whole number. What do we need to do to that whole number?
-16 over 3 is like
Make it 3 over 3.
I know. Okay, watch. Okay, let me do it this way. Here we have, let me just bring it like this. We have -16 over 3 minus 1.
You want to make it 3 over 3.
We want to make this 3 over 3. Okay, do you understand why? Okay,
It would be 19 over 3.
-19 over 3. So it's y equals -2 over 3x minus 19 over 3. You are done. I prefer you to leave it as improper fractions. And if you do this on Alex again, Alex prefers it as improper fractions. Okay? Do the exact same thing with parallel, but now you're using that parallel slope, which is 3 over 2. Okay.
How did you get?
Why don't you have anything on your desk? Okay. Okay, well, helping, I mean, he's writing on your paper? Okay. Would you like to look for it? Am I supposed to write? Okay. Yes.
If this is the exact same as the one they have, right?
Yes.
So could I just turn this one into you? Because I would kind of
Well, this isn't due today. It's not due till Monday.
yes. Can I turn this one into you on Monday?
If you want.
Okay.
Yes, just make sure it's done. Okay. Okay, students, just to give you a heads up, I have recorded every single